What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to more C4. Apologies on the delay here for the upload. Already made the video right after the reaction, but I had my X feed in the background, and I was showing some clips of the questionable calls against the Eagles. Old CBS insta flagged them, so we're gonna have to use our imagination. If you're an Eagle fan, remember it. If you're an Eagle hate watcher, just I guess trust my biased opinion here. I back up though that maybe my opinion's not so biased. But Philadelphia loses 21-17. First loss in like 3 years for the Philadelphia Eagles. This doesn't feel great. But I leave this game taking the slightly higher road than the people that are saying we outright lost this game because of the refs. I'm going to say Philly just didn't play well enough to beat the Broncos and the refs. Like, it's on the Eagles. If the Eagles had any efficiency in the second half, this game would have been done and dusted, even with the terrible calls. 6 carries for Saquon Barkley. And the tail of the tape right now, look, Philly got 7 points in the third quarter, and then it was 18 straight points by the Denver Broncos. This was a game where Saquon ran it 6 times. This is a game where Jalen Hurts threw it 38 times. This is a game where we're playing up against top 5 defense in the Denver Broncos. This is a game where clearly we were getting and setting ourselves up for if we won, Jalen Hurts would go to the press conference and go, is that what y'all want to see again? Remember when he did that? It was cool in the moment. Felt pretty badass, our quarterback with the old southern drawl being like, suck it, media. That was cool. You know they were trying to do that. You know all week they're like, we're going to throw the football. We're going to shut these people up. We're going to get the ball to Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. But if you really break it down, between the 7 points scored in the third and the 18 straight points scored by Denver, there was 5 drives for the Philadelphia Eagles where we got 3 yards. It was all fucking passes, and like no time came off the clock. If the Philadelphia Eagles played this game the same way we played disappointingly offensively in the first 4, we win this game because there would have been no time in that fourth quarter for Denver, who plays boring dog shit, dink and dunk football, the same brand of football the Eagles have played for the fourth. They don't score quickly. So if we would have had, instead of just 3 like throws, clock stopped, if we would have had, doesn't have to be points, but like a first down or 2 by running the clock, running with Jalen Hurts, running with Saquon Barkley, I don't think Denver has enough time to get 18 straight and win. I don't think there's enough time for those penalties and no calls against the Eagles to have an effect on Philly being 4-1 or 5-0. But because we have a nepotism hire at offensive coordinator, because Nick Sirianni won a Super Bowl and Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie said, you know what, we'll let Nick get the OC. We won't interview a single out-of-house candidate. We're going to go with this jobber that's been Nick's best buddy for the last decade. And we're just going to give him the fucking OC job. That you have this idiotic game plan where it's like, let's shut him up and throw it 40 times against one of the best goddamn defenses in the league. Let's only run it with Saquon Barkley 6 times. And then, hey, even in the first half, we left and going into halftime being like, hey, passing offense looks a little bit better. But then when you have, let's just say, of the 5 drives that got fucking nothing and chewed up no clock while we had the lead, maybe by drive 3 of that 5, we go, hey, maybe we start running the football a little bit. Maybe we get Saquon Barkley off that 6 carries because at worst, these 30-second drives, 3 and outs, are going to be maybe a 5 and out that we chew up instead of 30 seconds, 2.5 minutes. Right? You do that a couple times. Even if we go 0 for 5 in our drives, but we ran the football more, I don't think there's enough time for Denver to get those 18 points. I don't think there's enough time for those penalties to fucking matter. But no, we can't have a competent OC that can understand the ebbs and flows of the game, the momentum, and how to win. No, we have a fucking idiot back there, man. Unbelievable. But the penalties were bad. Philly just didn't play, good enough. Denver's dog shit offense was exactly what they needed. It was if I'm a Bronco fan, I'd go, yeah, it was dog shit, and we still won. Because that's the exact same thing we've been saying as an Eagle fan for 4 weeks. Yeah, it was dog shit. Yeah, it was ugly to watch. You couldn't stop it. Your team got tired, and the time ran out. We didn't have an answer for it. The answer for it was to run the football and understand that, hey, maybe the pass game, maybe fucking Pat Surtain's going to kind of shut shit down a little bit. No, couldn't make the adjustments there. No, had to just prove everybody wrong and throw it 40 times. But the penalties were bad, dude. Like, I can't not talk about it, right? First half, you had Cooper DeJean get a sack fumble on Bo Nix. was ruled a fumble on the field. It was one of those classic like tuck rule things, and everybody was kind of like, "That's close." And when it's close, you go with the call on the field. Like if that was on the field, ruled an incomplete pass, I would be just like hoping that they change it to a fumble. And if they went like they can't tell, it's too close, call on the field, I'd be like, "Fuck, that sucks," but whatever. The fact that they overturned it was terrible. Maybe even worse than the fact that our best pass rusher right now is literally Cooper DeJean. Our pass rush is dog shit. And then in the second half, you had an intentional grounding on Bo Nix. That wasn't called an intentional grounding. The referees had a conference, went on the TV, said intentional grounding. Would have been a 3rd and like 28 or some shit. And then literally they said that. Then they went to like a crowd shot, and then they came back, and it was 3rd and 6. And that was the drive that Denver Broncos kicked the field goal to go up 21. Just phantom note, like even when Tony Romo on the Zach Bond roughing, unnecessary roughness call, which in my opinion was the worst one, right? It was a 4th down stop, Drew Makuba on a screen pass, because that's all the fucking Broncos run, shut it down, but the running back was literally like in like a push-up position with the football, like LaShawn McCoy, trying to like break out and go for it. Zach Bond's coming in for the punch to fumble it. While Zach Bond's like mid-punch, the ref blows the play dead, and then Zach Bond like finishes the tackle that he already started. Flag, set a 4th down, free first down, 15 yards. Tony Romo on that one. Tony Romo on the Hail Mary, final drive, clear PI on Dallas Goedert. When you have 3 to 4 instances where Tony Romo's calling an Eagles game, and he's going, ooh, Jim, I don't know about that one. And at least as an Eagle fan, makes me feel like it's not watching and viewing everything as a biased Eagle fan. When Tony Romo's on your side, when like Dan Orlovsky's on your side, especially on the Zach Bond one, at least it's like, hey, every team in the NFL, all 32 teams are going to have games, probably 2 or 3 games every year that every fan thinks the refs are out to get them. And this is our turn. This was our turn, and we still should have fucking won. We had this game if we had a competent, if Kellen Moore was still here, if Shane Steichen was still here, we would have won this game. We would have ran the football in the second half. No chance Saquon Barkley finishes with 6 carries. Denver wouldn't have had enough time. Our defense played well enough for us to just ugly with the offense, just consume time. We don't even need yards, just consume time. We would have won this game. But nope. Had to throw the football, man. Had to do it. And, it's first half, they were throwing the football, maybe too much, but we liked it. We liked it when it was, but it's those 5 drives. 5 drives, 3 yards in the second half for Philly. That was their death sentence. Player grades, Jalen Hurts, 23 of 38, 280, 2 touchdowns. Got sacked 6 times, kind of the cost of doing business when you're throwing it 40 times against one of the best defenses in the league. I thought Jalen Hurts played great. Had an audible to Saquon Barkley on the 47-yard touchdown. Best throw of the game on either side was an incomplete to Jahan Dotson, who couldn't get both feet down. Was close. Nick Sirianni threw a challenge on it, but the throw from Hurts was incredible. I'd give Jalen Hurts an A. I think this was an outstanding game. Maybe of those 6, maybe 2 sacks where Hurts may be taking a little too long. But I think generally speaking, I mean, if A.J. Brown keeps running, if A.J. Brown shows a little more effort, there's another 50 yards and a touchdown on his stat line. We could have won this game with that one. Saquon Barkley, 6 carries, 30 yards, had 3 catches for 58 and a touchdown. Saquon was sick. 6 carries, inexcusable. What is the point? I thought the whole point was like, we're going to throw this football more to Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown so they can open things up for Saquon Barkley because the offensive line's not playing particularly well. What's the point of just throwing it and then not trying to capitalize it with the run? What's the point of throwing it this much and not capitalizing on the run when it's 3-and-out incompletions? Like, why are we just... Like, we couldn't have given that game and given the Broncos more of a chance to get back into this game than how we played that second half with the play calling. Like, if Saquon even has 15 carries in this game, we win. The clock, there wouldn't have been enough time. Cool to see Smitty go over 100 yards. Like, and this is up the other side, right? All the people, and I'm not going to say that I was 100% pounding the table of we got to throw the football more, but I think we're all guilty of being like, we want to see A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith light it up. We want to see Jalen Hurts throw the football. Let's stop playing like we're a goddamn military school. But if we play like a military school, I think we win this game. And now we're on the downside. If we threw the football, we got the fantasy football numbers, and we lost. How do you feel now? It's one of those like, where are you at on the feeling scale? Are you guys you green? You red? Where are you at on that little bar? Because we got what a lot of people were screaming for, and we lost. And that's like the argument. If you're in favor of Philadelphia doing what it takes to win, you would be like, well, I don't care that our quarterback doesn't have 400 yards in a loss. I'd rather take the win. Well, there you go. Bunch of yards and a loss. Is that what people want to see? Defensively, through 3 quarters was outstanding. I thought in the fourth quarter, our lack of pass rush clearly showed up. Right? Like Jalen Hurts took a sack. Like Denver got their pass rush going. We did not. That's a concern for the Eagles. I think we feel Keely Ringo. I think generally secondary, Keely Ringo playing, that's a big talking point. I thought the secondary was generally fairly solid. Linebackers are maybe the best in the league. Pass rush, like, is Cam Jordan on the trade block from the Saints? Like, does he want to come ring? Like, the pass rush is a problem. Jalen Hunt has been a ghost. Josh Uche, PFF darling, nothing. Like, Azeez Ojulari and Zadarius Smith, a guy that we just got off the street 2 weeks ago, and a guy that's been a healthy scratch. We're like our best pass rushers, not named Cooper DeJean in this game. Like, that is a problem for the Philadelphia Eagles, because that is what gets you off the field. That is what wins you games. When you say your defense wins you that game, it is your pass rush heating up in the second half, and ours was non-existent in that one. I think I'd still have to give the defense probably like a B+ grade, because 3 quarters they were lights out. And as, I don't know, they kind of closed it without just kind of repeating myself. I think the calls were terrible. I think maybe at its core, if those calls don't go against the Eagles, do we win this game? Probably. But those 5 drives that we did nothing in the second half going into the fourth, that's what cost us right there. Because you could have had all those calls go against us. Not one of those calls, outside of obviously the Goddard one, which is on the Hail Mary, but the Cooper DeJean fumble that got overturned, the roughing on the running back from Zach Bond, the overturn on the intentional grounding, none of those had an effect on the Eagles' offense going 5 drives for 3 yards in the second half. That's what happened, and that goes down to the offensive play caller. Hopefully this is the wake-up moment. You can't keep getting away with terrible offensive play calling. You're going to get exposed at some point, and we got a great opportunity to see if we learned any lessons against the New York Giants on a short week. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section below. As always, first time stopping by, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Until next time, it's your boy C4. Same peace, I love you. Have a good one. Go Birds.